Hello everyone, this is Larry Leathers. This is, oh my God, this is so off-brand. But when will you ever be ready? So I said, just pull out the camera and just get to work. So Schlagermeister is this brand that sponsors initiatives in the public interest. So we're now organizing these hydroponic farmers markets worldwide. Now, this is the Larry Leathers Show. So it's not like I'm going to put the Schlagermeister show on, because Schlagermeister is doing this artsy thing and I'm trying to get to business, get right straight to the business of just putting these farmers markets together. So the first one we're going to do is we're actually trying to do these markets in various cities around the world. And I'm working on the Brooklyn one. You will see other folks in other channels helping me out organizing launch events in other cities on their channels. And so I just want to welcome you all. And one of the first things I want to do is make sure everything is heavily interactive. So you're going to start to see people singing songs. But these songs are not just any songs. We're talking about songs that unite us. We're talking about like anthems, right? So every community can create its own anthem, right? And then, of course, we'll sing, the local anthems. So we'll have the community hydroponics farmers market will have its own anthem, and the people who participate in it will sing it. And they're the ones also who are either writing the song or voting for it. And then there's going to be a regional anthem and then the national anthem. And we can do this pretty much in every country, every city. So that's what what you can expect. So the bringing people together is the first thing. We need to get our minds in a mindset of, okay, we're not enemies. We're not going to try to find the things that separate us and use that as the thing that defines us. What we want to do is to try to find those things that we share and use that to bring us together. Now we're thinking in terms of, especially in the farmers market, this is more like a distributed kind of a thing where you don't go to one place. Hydroponics can be practiced in your home, in your kitchen, in your basement, right? So you're growing all these vegetables at home. And then in this community, we fulfill to each other. So when your harvest is ready, you let people know in the community when it's ready, and people pay you in advance. And then, but not the full fee, but a certain amount just to reserve the part of their harvest, the surplus that they're going to sell. The rest of their harvest they're going to keep for themselves. And then the idea is that as the harvests come due, you basically invite people to your home and they harvest the amount that they purchased by themselves, or you help them with that. But can you imagine when you do this en masse, right? When you do this at scale, can you imagine the kind of community that you build? People having an excuse to meet each other just from the point of view of growing fresh vegetables, fresh foods, and so on and so forth. The main thing, though, that is stopping this from really happening is, of course, there are farmers markets already. And the larger cities are basically served reasonably well in the wealthier communities. But the problem is there is a lot of contamination in the environment. And no one is really talking about this, but when you start talking about PFAS, P-F-A-S, look that up, okay? These contaminants are not easily removed from the water when you have a regular filtration system. You have to do the reverse osmosis, and in addition to other means through which you do the filtering. But anyway, once you've sufficiently gotten the contaminants out of the water, the food is now contaminant-free or reasonably contaminant-free. And then you can expect better health outcomes. But right now, the problem is when you go to the farmer's market, you don't know exactly how your food was grown. and your farmer's not necessarily being open about what they're using to grow your food. So your food is actually getting all these contaminants and storing them in a high concentration. And so can you imagine, like, you're going to eat fresh foods that you believe are going to improve your health, but those foods are poison? I mean, this is what we're dealing with right now. No one is really talking about it. So I felt, okay, I don't want to continue participating in this nonsense where I'm doing things that look like they're leading to better health outcomes, but the reality is that the food itself is poison. So I'm like, let's create our own farmers market system, and let us do it with hydroponics, and let us bring in or source our own fresh water that's fully filtered, and filtered specifically from the microplastics, pharmaceutical stuff, all the other stuff, lead, whatever, and the PFAS, which is probably the hardest stuff to get out. Once we do that, then we can create our own market system and start selling to each other. The people who can appreciate this, right? Because you're not going to push it on everyone. If you want to eat whatever you want to eat, but for the people who want to get real and they want to really solve their health problems, you're going to pay more and you're going to do this right. And so we're doing this right. That's why you're here. You're here because you want to be part of the solution. You want to do the best that you possibly can, not only for yourself, but for your family and for your community. We all benefit when everyone is healthy. So that's basically the introduction, and you can be sure that over the next few days, you'll find out exactly what my schedule is going to be, and we're going to, so that we can actually build a real relationship with each other. But I just want to say welcome to everyone. This is the Larry Leathers Show, and you'll see more about Schlagermeister as this goes on, but it's not about Schlagermeister right now. What it's about is going to Brooklyn, and I'm starting off in downtown Brooklyn, talking to people and engaging them in these anthems, right? So I want people to actually create their own anthems that can possibly be used, things that could be sung by everyone. There'll be so many different challenges. One of the challenges is, let's take a government document or a document or a speech by a famous person. Let's take a look at, let's say, President Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, right? I created a song out of this. I created many different songs out of this, really. I'd like to share that. I will challenge people to do similar kinds of things. So yes, we can take a very famous speech and turn it into music. That basically relates to the country, something can unify. And definitely the Gettysburg Address is one of these. Okay, then we could take aspects of the Constitution itself. We can take the preamble and turn that into a song. I did that, so I'll share that with you. So these are examples of how we can start to create songs that unify us. We can do this actually in every city, in every country. So I'm starting off here with the places that I know, with the people that I know. We're gonna have our own honor guard at the events that we create, because we're gonna basically get access to a country kitchen where we actually have the water filter, and people will come and gather there, get their water, bring it back to their Kratky hydroponic systems, and they'll be able to share all kinds of intelligence about how to improve their crops, all this kind of stuff. There's so much that we can do together, and I'm looking forward to building a relationship with every one of you. So stay tuned. I'm going to get you the itinerary, and pretty much what's happening every day. Day by day, there's going to be something happening. I'm not going to, there's no way for me to know everything, because people every day are going to come and they will, oh yeah, so if you look beneath in the Shopify store that I'm helping to organize, there are these subscriptions that basically people can identify with, and with a particular role. And then with that role, you can actually start to be appreciated in the community. I'll share more information about that with you later as well. Otherwise, I'll continue here doing my shaving thing. So I was interrupting myself just to get to know you and all. Have a great day. Larry Leathers signing off for right now. See you soon.